Hello and welcome to Sectors Up Close. I'm David Pollard. Today we're talking about the future of 3D printing, and my guest is Davide Scher, co-founder and CEO at Vauxhall Matters, a leading publisher of market research and analysis for that industry. Many may think of 3D printing as new tech, but in fact the earliest 3D printers appeared in the 1980s, before a period of expansion from 1990 onward for an industry which still grips the public imagination with pictures like the ones you're seeing now, the construction of Europe's largest 3D printed building in Germany this year. Or this, NASA's Mars Simulation Habitat, manufactured with 3D printing. Little known too, perhaps, is just how many big names are out there using 3D printing as a component of their manufacturing processes. And a glance at the top holdings of the New York listed 3D printing ETF gives you an idea of just some, like Nikon and British engineering firm Renishaw. So is 3D printing a license to print money? Well, with me is Davide Scher, co-founder and CEO at Vauxhall Matters. Davide, welcome. Many thanks for joining us today. Before we try and answer that question, let's just look at the background to 3D printing. What's been happening in the last 10 years? What's the major evolution that you've been seeing?
Hi, thank you for having me. I think what really we've been seeing over the past 10 years is that we've kind of moved from the ideas and the dreams of making parts on demand, mass customized, and distributed. So making parts everywhere, which are still kind of long-term dreams of 3D printing, but more short-term. Today, we're looking more at making things in a more sustainable way. So sustainable manufacturing, making spare parts on, for example, those, yes, on demand, and also the ability to make very complex industrial parts and tools.
Nevertheless, we're talking about what is still a relatively small industry. What are the main obstacles to that industry growing, and could AI be a massive game changer for it?
Absolutely, yes, I think so, because one of the what makes it really hard to implement 3D printing is that changing the way we manufacture things is hard. So it's expensive. You need to change the way you produce things. You need to change the way you design things. There needs to be a lot of material science advancements, software advancements. So in that sense, technologies like AI that enable us to do a lot of, calculations, a lot of, understand these processes a lot faster will definitely give it, accelerate the evolution of 3D printing over the next decade.
Who are some of the leading players out there, especially the pure players? Give us some names and why we should be looking at them with some excitement.
One company is called 3D Systems. And what's very notable about 3D Systems is that it was founded by the inventor of 3D printing, Chuck Hull. He invented a technology called stereolithography in 1987. And over the years, 3D Systems has grown, and there have been a lot of mergers. So now the company offers a lot of different technologies. The other market leader is a company called Stratasys, which is the merger of two companies and two technologies, one American, one Israeli, and they merged and they formed this company, which is the leading one. But they're still relatively small companies, generating about $500 million in revenue, a lot less than 1 billion. So it's really hard for them to really scale their technology and really grow as the market would expect them to.
Well, indeed, some of the more niche players have been gaining attention because of their niche specialisms, namely, for example, bioprinting, the possibility of printing organs at some point in the future. That seems to be, getting a hold on the public imagination. Who are the big players there, or who are the most notable players, and why are they exciting?
I could mention a company called Readily 3D. They developed a technology called that's basically a new approach to 3D printing, which is called volumetric 3D printing, which is based on holographic projections rather than flat projections. So the idea is you could produce a part all at once, from all sides at once.
So Davide, you've been watching this industry for some time as an industry expert, and no doubt you'll continue doing that. And where do you see 3D printing going in broad terms?
In terms of what 3D printing will look like, for sure there will be, the technologies are getting faster, the printers are getting larger. In general, I think 3D printing is really a way of making things in a better way, so more efficient. We can't continue to produce the way we are producing today. We need to produce more efficiently, more in a more focused manner, in a more sustainable manner. And I think in general, 3D printing in the food industry, in the construction industry, in the space industry, in the aerospace industry can really help us achieve that.
Okay, Davide Scher, co-founder and CEO at Vauxhall Matters, many thanks for that insight today. And that is your roundup of the 3D printing industry. I'm David Pollard, and this is Reuters.